Hi, and welcome to the February update of the BV. Just 2 weeks ago, the layout celebrated its 4th anniversary, so this thing is 4 years old. Let's take a quick look back in time. So there you have it. Lots of history in 4 years. Tons and tons of work I got done this month so far. In fact, so much so I had to make a list here. Let's talk about the fact that in engine number 24, which is out here, right over here, I took out the existing decoders. There were 2 of them in there, a Soundtrax and a Digitrax, and replaced it with an Economy 200 and a current keeper. It was an easy installation, relatively speaking, and I really like the Economy 200. Alright, so the fact that I have micro switches on the gate here that cuts off the power to a section of track that leads to nowhere here if the gate is open. That was done early on to keep engines obviously from going over the edge here, but all of a sudden I realized that when you have a current keeper in an engine, it doesn't matter if the track is dead here. So what I wound up by doing was adding some what would be in essence hill brakes using an Arduino. But what it is let's see if we can get in on this. You can see that little yellow spike sticking up. When the gate is closed, the Arduinos kick in and take the hill brake down, and then when the gate opens again, they all come up. There's one on this level, one on that level. If it would focus, that would be great. One down here, and one up here. So no matter where that engine is with its current keeper, that will stop. And if you're a Model Railroader Video Plus subscriber, I do a full episode on installing these Arduino hill brakes and and programming the Arduinos themselves. It's all done with servos. We'll take a look at the servo right underneath there, right next to the tortoise. I'll trip it. There, you can see it. Oops. So that was a major thing to get done. You can see if you've watched previous updates, this whole section of the layout is now relatively finished. I haven't done the finesse scenery, but the scenery is in, the ballast is in right here. You saw the Mid-States Fresh and Frozen Meats building, but you didn't see the NBI building, which is right here. That was added. The 4th of the 4 little gruesome casket company buildings was added that I have on the layout. I haven't put a name on that yet, but you can see all of this is ballasted, and like I said, I haven't done the final scenery. I need to add more trees and stuff like that. So that was a big deal to do. The backdrop, was put on the gate on the upper level here. We're looking flat on at the gate. The gate is open right now. So we added the backdrop to that and started adding some scenery. Put a little piece of Chooch rock wall in 2 different places here. And that is all ballasted now. So that was a lot of work. We talked about the NBI building. And then the last thing that I did in this past month, if we can get underneath here, if you can see, I added 2 more power supplies, some voltage meters. I'm sorry, it's really dark, but there's no lights underneath there. Some voltage meters. This is all for the deck lights. So there's a power supply for the upper deck in this room, the lower deck in this room, the upper deck in the other room, and the lower deck in the other room, plus added 2 dimmers, which you can hardly see. They're next to the switches there, for the deck lights. So that was a ton of work this month. And one of the highlights of this month was going to the board meeting, the NMRA, National Model Railroad Association board meeting down in Atlanta. My friend and secretary of the NMRA, John Stevens, who is a captain, a Delta pilot, got us into a flight simulator. So I was able to fly this 737, me along with two other guys who happened to go on the tour that John took us on. And that was one of the biggest kicks I've had in a long time. It was better than any video game you're ever going to see. Absolutely amazing experience. This is the cockpit of the simulator, the 737 simulator, and you can't tell, but we're about to land at Charlotte Airport. Anyway, that is February, the 4-year anniversary of the Bona Vista Railroad, and lots of work done. So thanks again for joining me. We will talk to you next month.